things to success. So I'm very proud of the participants who are here on time today. I'm sure others will also join, but I think we can proceed. Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Nagappan sir. If any of you have heard any of my speeches earlier, the first part of what I'm going to talk might be a repetition, but I think it is very important, I think every one of you have to know, why am I doing this? You know, so just to give you a background, I was born in a normal middle-class family in Chennai. My parents made sure we studied well, me, my sister, and my brother. And because of that, we have a good educational background, because of which we are now able to do something much better than otherwise. So education, of course, is a very important aspect in everybody's life. I will not bore you much. Today's session will be a lot more interactive, and it can be interactive only with your help. So the first 10 minutes or so, I will give you an introduction as to why am I doing this, etc., etc. And then why is India not able to create a Bill Gates or a Steve Jobs so far? And how you could be the person who could do it. So that will be the first 10 to 20 minutes introduction. After that, I have a very good, a simple video to show you. This is a video of an augmented reality app that our CTO of our organization, Mayur Patil, had developed. I wanted to show you that. It's just 2 to 5 minutes video. And then I want to walk you through a concept called monthly technology research. And finally, after doing these 3 things, the last section will be about what specific technologies you should be focusing on. Because you will ask, right, okay, I'm ready, I have the heart, I have the will, and I want to proceed. How do I proceed? So the last section, about 20 minutes or so, will be on what are the technologies that we believe you should be focusing on, because those are the latest cutting edge technologies in the world. And then last 10 minutes of session, we'll keep it for Q&A. So that's the plan for today. With that intention, I would like to go ahead with the initial steps. So I'm guessing all of you are on mute, but please feel free to ask any questions at any point in time. If I'm not able to answer it during the session, I'll definitely catch up and we'll answer it during Q&A, but ask all your questions as and when you feel. By the way, here is something for you. I will be asking quite a few questions in the middle and waiting, and I will be expecting to see responses. When I see the responses, if I feel somebody is really inquisitive, really interested, we will definitely approach you and see if you will be interested in doing an internship with us. Because one of the goals of any of the sessions that I do is to identify talent. And if I can identify talent very early and groom them, we're just hoping that you will become our Bill Gates or Steve Jobs of the future. So we are going to attempt. We will do our best. Whatever happens, happens. I wish somebody had told me all this 25 years back. Since there was no one to tell us about this, I thought I should make use of this opportunity to talk to you and tell you exactly what we have in mind. Okay, so as I said, as Dr. Nagappan had introduced, I studied in CEG, and then I was hired from the campus through TCS. We joined TCS in Chennai. We didn't know much about anything. We are just like you, right? I used to have fun, badminton, playing cricket, and studying a little bit, and somehow got into CEG and got a degree. Finally, when I went into TCS, I realized there is real world. This is how organizations work. And then I learned so much there. During the process of this learning is when I realized, okay, there is much more greener pastures available outside India. So I applied and I got a job in the US. And in less than 2 years' time, I went to the US. So if you imagine this scenario where I got paid 5,250 rupees a month, and I was sitting and doing programming. And I went to the US and did the same job and got about $60,000 a year, which is $5,000 a month. How could a guy doing the same job get paid 5,000 rupees in India and get paid $5,000 in the US for the same job? How could that happen? This was the first question that came to me once I reached the US. And after the first few months, your monetary needs are taken care of obviously because of the dollar difference, etc. Right? Since that happened, then I started thinking, how do I make India better? What can we do to help the country that gave us all this education that helped us become like this. So I realized India was still struggling, and it is still struggling. We are struggling in so many things, right? We are struggling in poverty levels, education, awareness, so many things. But then people like you and me who do really well have a great opportunity, which is fly abroad and you get paid a lot. So, but the problem is brain drain, right? Just because of money, I was ready to spend about 15, 20 years of my life working for someone else, somewhere else. But imagine if that did not happen. Imagine if we could help people like me stay back in the country and still earn what they deserve, and at the same time, that effort and that knowledge is contributed towards building India and making it better. How would that be? So I couldn't do it. I spent 15 years, 10 years, 15 years outside the country working for somebody else. I'm sincerely hoping a little bit of what I'm guiding you in the next 5, 10 minutes or next 1 hour will change that, at least in one or two of you, and see if we can enable you, to use your brains and your skills to do massive good things. I'm not asking you to work sacrificing anything. I'm not asking you to work giving up the money or giving up your pride. I'm saying, what if India can help you earn the same amount and your values can be used to make the country better? So that's the focus of this discussion. So during this discussion, you will also hear from me a lot about what I have implemented using our great team that we found for the 5 Minutes Farmers business. So just a background, after coming back to India in 2012, I came back because my mom is not well. When she was identified with Parkinson's, and she passed away in 2012. But then I'm happy I spent the last few months of her life with her in India. We also realized my parents are getting old, my wife's parents are getting old, so it's better to spend time with them because money can't get you that. So given that, I came back to India and said, now that I'm in India, let's try and do something good. So I started this 5 minutes and tried to see if I can help small businesses go online in 5 minutes. Then I got an opportunity to work with a large organization called Vara United. I spent about 2 years building this organization, taking this baby from a particular organization, and it's now grown to about 4,000 members, and this organization is now a part of Wipro Infotech. So I spent the first 2 years helping this organization form a shape and helping the teams with the hope that we should build this organization into a great technology unit. But then during the 2 years that I spent, I realized that I should be focusing on taking one problem where we can make a significant difference. And that is when 5 Minute Farmers came into existence. So because all over India in the past 6, 7 years living here, I've realized that corruption is everywhere. Unemployment is everywhere. Massive levels of poverty, and the rich is becoming richer and the poor is becoming poorer. How can technologists like you and me help people come out of this? And imagine if we reduce the corruption levels or eliminate it. Imagine if we help people earn better using the technology skills that we have. What would happen to this country? This country would grow amazingly well. That is the thought process with which in April 2018, I said, let's focus on 5 Minute Farmers. Okay, so 5 Minute Farmers is an initiative where we want to look at farmers' problems. I'm sure many of you are aware of the problems of farmers, right? They don't get the right amount for their produce. They don't get money on time. They are always in debt. Some political party comes and says, we are going to help you with loan waiver, etc., etc. And then that political party finally throws them off, or maybe they don't come to power, and you realize that the farmers are in debt. How do we help the farmers? So we understood the root cause. Some of the root causes are, number one, we should help them increase their yield per acre. How do you increase yield per acre? Technology helps us. There is a farmer in India who is working on his farm for years together. Now, this is the first question from me to you. Does anyone here know what is the annual revenue or yield per acre that a farmer gets? If you know it, please feel free to type it here. I want to see a little bit of involvement or participation, and I want to see how much you know about our farmers in India. How much money does a farmer make in 1 year in 1 acre of land? I'm talking about total revenue, total money that they would have made. Please feel free to type your responses here. I will give about a minute or so to listen to see. 1 lakh. Sridevi Doraiswamy. 50,000. Okay. Let's wait for a few more responses and see who is the closest to the study that we have done in the past 2 years. We met about 50,000 farmers in the past 2 years, mostly in Tamil Nadu. 2 lakhs. Will Murugesh sir is also replying. Nice. So 25 to 60, that's a big range. Yes, I think all of you are understanding the core problem here. It is all either in thousands or maybe 1 to 2 lakh is what you're looking at, right? So and I'll let people provide that answer a little more. Meanwhile, I'll give you a simple example of one farmer I know in Canada. His name is Curtis Stone. You can check out his website, urbanfarmer.co. So the urban farmer, he also wrote a book about this. In 1/4 of an acre, he made $100,000. $100,000 is equivalent to approximately 70 lakhs. 1/4 of an acre, he makes 70 lakhs a year. And look at your answers and look at the facts, right? We are talking about 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs maximum. But then here is a farmer, in a year, he is generating 3 crores. Where is 3 crores and where is what we are talking, right? How did that happen? How can a farmer in Canada earn 3 crores? So I spent time speaking to him. So what does he grow on the land? He grows common vegetables that is in demand in the cities nearby. You will realize when you go to his website that he's just growing things that we grow. But he uses a lot of innovation, a lot of technology and business principles. So I tried spending some time with him and he said, oh, all of these will not work in India. All I told him is this: if we learn your technology and if we implement 10% of it, is that possible? If we do that, our farmers can make 30 lakhs a month, 30 lakhs a year, or even 1%, right? Let's say 1%. Our farmer will make more than what all of you have told me here. We have 95 participants. We have about 10 of you participating and interacting. And Sridevi Doraiswamy is the one who is closest to what I have in mind. About 1 lakh a year is what our farmers are earning. About 10,000 a month is what they're getting. What can you do with 10,000 a month? You have to take care of your land, you have to take care of your expenses. Then you have your personal expenses that you have to take care of at home, right? Can you believe it? But Curtis Stone uses a very innovative approach. I'll tell you a simple one. Crop value rating is what he has used to measure the value of each crop. He would not take crops like pumpkins, because pumpkin occupies larger square foot. Pumpkin is lesser valuable and it is not in demand. He would do more of things that are more profitable. For example, during the last 3 months, we spent a lot of time with a farmer called Palnivelayya. He's a mango farmer. Mangoes are premium and they are higher valued crops. So like this, there are all the other things, the other regular vegetables, which are also higher valued crops, which Curtis Stone grows. We have learned a few of this from him. And if you look at all his items that he grows, you will realize he grows it based on the demand. He does a good market study. Our farmers might not have access to that market information handy. What if we provide the technology? We provide it all in their fingertips in an SMS. So on a regular basis, they can SMS about what is in demand. And some of the few things I learned, right? I want to give you a simple example. I'll spend 1 or 2 more minutes on this before we go into the real presentation. Chilies, right? Can you think of what chilies can be used in? Let me know your answers. What can chilies be used in? The chilies can be used for what we know is green chili. When we eat it, it gives you spices. It can be added as a spice into our food. What other things can be used for green chilies? We have 104 participants now. Let me see how many of you answer and how many of you know about the various uses of green chilies. Yes, sauce. is a great example. Coloring, classic example. I didn't know this until I started working with the farmers. Controlling pests. Sir, Dr. Nagapan sir, you know all the answers, sir. If you answer everything, then how will the kids answer, sir? Sir, we should let the kids answer. So, the coloring, yes, it's a beautiful thing. Controlling pests, yes, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about many of these until I started spending time with the farmers and spending time with some of our agricultural scientists from our agricultural universities. Lowering body temperature, exactly. Yes. And you know the heat patches that we buy, the cold hot patch. Did you realize one part of chili goes into that as an ingredient? Many of our farmers don't know it. They think chili, if people don't eat it, then it becomes waste and it has to be thrown out. So many value-added produce can be created from chilies. Imagine if all this information was available at fingertips to our farmers, what will happen? They will be able to do a lot more, earn a lot more than what they are doing today. So these are just one or two examples that I wanted to show to you before I go into the real topic. So if I do this alone with just our team and 5-minute farmers, we might take 10 years to do it. What if technologists like you get involved in this and start thinking about something like this? It doesn't have to be about farmers. It doesn't have to be about farming. It can be anything that you see is a problem in real world. What if you really think and say, I am going to use the technologies that I've learned to see if I can solve a real world problem. This should be in your mind all the time. Remember, I am a technologist. What can I do to help a problem that somebody is facing in the real world? Ask yourself this question every day and you will realize your real value. So with that in mind, I'm now going to go into the presentation and show you a few things that I wanted to show you. I'm going to share my screen now. So, as you can see, the first thing is, do you want to become the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates? If this is not something in your mind, I highly recommend you stop attending this presentation. This is not for average people. The next 45 minutes of your time, I am going to be spending about helping you realize your potential. If you believe you can be this, I think you should attend this. So with that, now my next question, what are the reasons, top reasons that you think are the main reasons for the success of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates? This is a very important point. You will have to think and answer. What do you think Steve Jobs and Bill Gates have that made them remarkable? By the way, some of my friends came to me and said, why can't you talk about some of the great leaders that have come from India? And some of the examples I got are Mr. Aziz Premji and a few other names. The only answer I had is, they did not change the world. They are trying their best to help India, but they did not change the world. So I am looking for leaders who can change the world. So with that in mind, I am going to ask you, what do you think Bill Gates and Steve Jobs have or had which make them different? Good observation skills, strong belief, think different, excellent answer. Self-confidence, yes. Good ambition, all these are good answers. And these are in line with what I was thinking. Very, very close to what I was thinking. Visionaries, yes, they are. Definitely. So we have such people in India also. But look at the way these two guys have done and what Elon Musk is doing today. They are going after something that no one went after. So if you roll back 40 years, if you roll back to the 1980s, you will realize some of the things that these guys have done. So I think these are great answers: intelligence and hard work, interest towards their work, love, passion, etc. I am going to share with you what I thought are some of the good things. Number one, they had access to technology which many of us did not have. India was far behind, and India is still far behind. At least we are catching up. I'm happy about that. They had access to technology which we didn't have. Today, that barrier is gone. Each one of you have access to technology. And thanks to the government's policies around internet, we have amazing internet speeds comparable to anyone else in the world, at least in the cities. And I hope even the other villages will get the same thing, at which point we can say we have access to technology to every single person in India. That was a key thing that they had. The second one is something that is clear, thinking out of the box, right? Like how some people have said, visionaries, thinking out of the box, think different. They imagine the impossible. When I show the next slide, you will see how there are some examples of this. And beyond that, they were extremely focused on their goals. I don't know if anyone of you saw Steve Jobs' movies, you'll see, or read his book, you'll see how if anyone was not aligned with their goal, they threw them out. They were considered as bad people for that habit. But they made sure nothing came in their way of accomplishing their goal. And finally, this one is a classic. This is what I believe and I've been doing, and I recommend every one of you do this. Consistency in your efforts over a period of time. If you know a little bit about how many people go and join the gym on the 1st of January, you'll be surprised. Everybody will take resolutions for the new year. I am going to become fit. I am going to do this. I'm going to do that. After a month, the entire parking lot in the gym will be empty. You know why? People have forgotten about it. So just having aspirations alone is not enough. Just having a bubble or a spark for one day is not enough. Consistency over a period of time is important. These are the 4 factors that I thought I should present to you about my understanding of the reasons for the success of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. If you can relate to this, if you can think along these lines, I think you are one of them. And here is what I felt is very special about each one of them. Think about Bill Gates, right? In those days, IBM was the big guy. IBM had the powerful PCs. But Bill Gates said, I am going to put a PC in every home. He dreamt of it. And today, do you see it? Every single house in the US has a PC. And everywhere else in the world, PC has become a common commodity. And with the advent of Visual Basic and .NET, he empowered every youth with a computer to become a developer. And that was a difficult thing for developers like me, hardcore developers like me. But then, if you look at it, he made sure everyone had the ability, if they had the interest, he empowered them with the ability to start coding. That's the specialty of Bill Gates. And even today, he is laser focused on his goal of eliminating a lot of diseases in countries like Africa. So this guy is remarkable. And his work has shown it. And he's changing the world. And that is why I've used his name. Now let's think about Steve Jobs. If you notice his history, right? Walkman. He changed the Walkman and said, there has to be a better way to listen to music. And he brought iPod. And we all thought, wow, iPod is awesome. And then he came and said, oh, that's not enough. You can even have it as a phone. He brought in iPhone. And iMac, look at the things that he has designed. Everything that he's designed looks beautiful. He found the right designer. And he made sure he gave them all the freedom to go design beautiful things. And then guess what? Every time Steve Jobs, we thought Steve Jobs has brought out what is the best for the world, he came up with more. When we said, oh yeah, I have an iPhone and I have a beautiful computer, he came back and said, no. You did not realize that you need something called as iPad. An iPad has become one of the biggest selling items in Apple's line of products. Can you imagine, from nowhere, he pulled out of thin air iPad. This is the quality of a great leader who thinks remarkably well. Jeff Bezos from Amazon is going along those lines. If you think about our man Elon Musk, he has made sure his SpaceX is now used by NASA to ship people from NASA to International Space Station. These guys have a goal and they are consistently working towards accomplishing it. This is what I thought you should know. And I am quite sure out of the people that are here, Many of you already have those skills and talents, just that you didn't know it. You thought, oh no, I can't do this. I thought like this 25 years ago. I wish someone had come and given me a lecture like this that day. But today I hope what I am telling you now in the next half an hour will help you think along those lines and see if it will make a difference. So why could India not produce this? We created masses. We created people who can come and do data entry. We created people who will do coding, cut, copy, paste. That's what we created. And people like me ran away to other countries to make more money. Not anymore. This bunch of people here on this call, I hope some of you will be a part of this revolution and you will change that. Here is the first lesson I want to teach all of you. This is called monthly technology research. What is monthly technology research? I realized one thing. Before we want to dream about ourselves as leaders, we should dream about ourselves as good followers. I think each one of us should follow what is the best in the world today and try to learn and see what has been done. What does that mean? Every month, if every one of us focus on learning something new, I have a clear format here for you and I'll be happy to guide you. You have my phone number in every single screen. I'll be happy to guide you with this if you are interested in becoming the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. I want you to learn a new technology. I'll tell you the technology that you should pick. You should be scared of it. You should have no clue about it. But you should wish that I wish I knew this technology. You should pick that technology. You should not know anything about it, but you should see other people doing amazing things about it. And you should wish, I sincerely wish I want to build this. I want to learn how to do this. If you have such a technology in mind, type it here. I want to see if I see even one response where someone is thinking of a technology that they want to learn, that they don't know, but they wish they could learn. If that is here, I want to guide you to the next steps. Because without the aspiration, any amount of lecture will be of no use. Without you coming and telling me you need this, there is someone says, I want to learn about artificial intelligence in SCADA. This is a great topic to pick up. And that is also listed in one of my things later. We'll be talking about it. So imagine if we could help this person learn about AI, not after 3 years, not after 4 years, this month, in 1 month. Imagine virtual reality. Somebody wants to learn about virtual reality. Imagine if we could help this person learn about this. What would happen? That is the plan during this next half an hour. We want to help you think and dream big. We want to help you pick a technology of your choice. And 1 week, learn about it, read about it, understand what exists, understand what you know, what you don't know. I'm talking about theoretical reading. That should happen for 1 full week. Then, second week, pick one topic of your choice in that. Within artificial intelligence, take a small sample, actual hands-on proof of concept. We will help you work on that if you want help. And then, third week, this is a very important one. Communication skills are extremely important and it is lacking big time from many, many kids. You should try to prepare a presentation and you should try to speak about it. First week, you will struggle. First month, you will struggle. Second month, you'll be a little bit okay. Third month, you think you can do it. From fourth month onwards, you would have been a seasoned professional who can easily prepare a PowerPoint presentation or a Google Slides presentation. Do that, learn. And once you do that, fourth week, we will bring in the experts. Let's say Sridevi wants to learn about virtual reality. We will bring in industry experts who know about virtual reality and we will make the presentation in front of them in a similar Zoom meeting. Then what will happen? You are getting exposed to an expert who is ready to guide you and tell you what is right, what is wrong, how you can do this better. Think about the level of confidence that will bring in each person. This has to be done religiously, month over month, without exception. If you do it for 1 year, imagine what will happen to the level of technology you've learned and imagine your value. And after a year, I want to ask you, What do you think you can do that will change the lives of Indians? How do you think you can solve a real world problem? And you will be amazed at the answers that you can give because you would have learned so much in a year. This is monthly technology research. And this is exactly what I think every one of you should learn. Of course, you will have college. Of course, you will be working somewhere. Of course, you will have a lot of other things to do. Of course, you will be busy. This has to be done out of your passion. This has to be done on a week over week basis. And if you do this, it won't take more than 2 to 3 hours each week, by the way. And if you do this really well, think about the change it will happen. I mean, week 2, of course, you'll have to spend at least 8 to 10 hours on 1, 2, or 3 days to get to do a good demo. But then imagine if you get into this habit, what is going to happen to the knowledge that you gain in a year's time? And think if you do this for 4 or 5 years, what would have happened? That is what I wanted to make sure you're aware of. With this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and show you a small demo. The audio might be patchy, but don't worry about it. Look at the video, look at the focus of the demo.
Hi, we are trying to get a demo of augmented reality. The prototype recently we are building for 5 minutes. So I'm going to launch the prototype demo. As soon as this demo starts, you can see a camera application which start and shows the camera view. And if you can search here, there must be somewhere. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going back. So you can see there are 2 objects we have introduced, and these objects are nothing but augmented objects. So you can see my hand, and this object, this barbarian, basically.
Sir, excuse me.
Camera.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sahil, sir, your video is not visible. It is showing only your recents.
Okay, I'm going to play this again. I'm sorry, I would have done something wrong. I'm going to do it right. Give me 1 second.
Yes, now it is okay, sir.
I'm playing a video now.
Hi. We are trying to get a demo of augmented reality. The prototype recently we are building for 5 minutes. So I'm going to launch the prototype demo. As soon as this demo starts, you can see a camera application which start and shows the camera view. And if we can search here, there must be somewhere. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going back. So you can see there are 2 objects we have introduced, and these objects are nothing but augmented objects. So you can see my hand, and this object, this barbarian, basically placed between the camera and my hand. So I can put it here, or I can animate this object, or I can rotate it, or I can also detect the gesture. So this is a 3D object. Another object we have given here is the cube. So if you see the cube is a 3D cube. What does that mean? That I can go sideways to the cube, I can go to the bottom, I can go to the top, and I can go in between the cube, and I can go to the backwards as well. So this way I can experience this cube as if it is a real world object. And the most beautiful thing is, if I put my hand or any object, this cube properly placed between the real-time hand or real-time object and between the camera. So this technology is called as augmented reality technology, where you can place the artificial objects, animate them into the real world. That's a basic demo about how augmented reality works. Thank you.
So I'm going to stop sharing this and share my screen again. So this was a very simple demo. So the question to people is, can anyone tell me, by the way, it's a very basic augmented reality app created, our CTO of 5 minutes, Mayur Patil, created this. Can anyone guess how many days it took for him to do this? Any guesses? Sridevi, you're right. Google has already brought it in the camera feature. I agree. But if you were to develop this yourself, what would happen? That's the key here. We have to learn from the best and we have to do it ourselves. So can anyone guess how long it took for Mayur Patil to do this? By the way, I have to tell you this. Before he did this, he had no clue about how to implement it. I went and challenged him and said, this is exactly what we should be doing. So we saw many people creating some augmented reality things to schools where there was a cow or some object and one teacher was helping in Kerala. So we saw that and we said, there has to be a better way to do this. So we started working on this and then we said, why don't we focus on this? Okay, so I am getting a few responses. So I think these are all good guesses, but the reality is this. Less than 24 hours is what it took for Mayur Patil to go from zero to this demo to you. To be very precise, on Friday night at around 9:30 is when I had given it to him. And Saturday afternoon, this video was ready. If you think about this, what has just happened? By the way, you can't do it overnight if you think you can do it all by yourself. You need to think. You need to have studied. You should study. You should learn. You should have the passion and you should have the right kind of commitment to work and deliver. And it is not like 24 hours without sleeping, etc., etc. Our man sleeps very well, 8 to 10 hours a day. So within one day, if someone can do it, I am 100% sure there are many of you in this team listening and watching this who are capable of this. Maybe you know that you are capable, maybe you don't. But I'm here to tell you that with the right amount of passion, with the right amount of commitment, you can do this. So I'm going back to the slide that I showed earlier. What are the top reasons for the success of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates? Access to technology. All of you have it. They imagine the impossible. Here is a simple example where we saw Mayur Patil imagine the impossible. And laser sharp focus on the goal. He said, I'm not going to give up until I get this ready for you. And he just got a barbarian and a cube. In the cube, you can go above, below, side, anywhere. This is what I call as proof of concept that you should be developing in week 2. And then consistency in doing this over a period of time will show that you will believe in yourself and you will start seeing results of your work. And this demo was not aimed to say that we are great or we are capable of doing amazing things. No, this is aimed to say that each one of you have the talent. Each one of you have the skill. You just need to believe in it and put consistent efforts over a period of time to groom yourself. So with that having said, you might ask the question, but how do we do this? What are the technologies I should focus on? What should I learn? So the next 10 minutes to 15 minutes, we'll be focusing on that topic. What technologies? First, we'll talk about some fundamentals for about 5 minutes, basic concepts for 5 minutes, and advanced concept for another 5 minutes. As you can see, I represent 5 minutes, so I try to make sure I say that word more often. That's called branding. I try to market myself this way. So here it is, fundamentals. We're going to start with fundamentals. There are two kinds of fundamentals, business fundamentals and programming fundamentals. I'm sure many colleges teach you this. I'm sure amazing lessons are there, but there are a few things that I learned which I thought you should know. Before we start doing anything, you should ask yourself, why am I doing this? 5-minute farmers. Why are we doing this? We want to change the lives of the farmers. Similarly, you should have an objective, and it better be a noble one. It can even be a bad one, but all I'm saying is, please try to do something that will make a positive change in the life of at least one human being. And you will see that the goodwill and the good things that you do will help you become better in anything that you want to do. So first understand why, and then what, and then how. So 5-minute farmers, why are we doing this? We want to help the farmers. What exactly are we doing? We are trying to help them increase their yield per acre. We're trying to make sure their produce reaches the consumer's doorsteps instantly. We want the high quality produce from all our farmers to reach the consumers on time. And we want to make sure the farmers are always profitable in this process. And we want to help our farmers get good loans at bank rates. We want to help our farmers never to be in debt. These are the things that we have in mind. And this is what we want to do. And how are we doing it? We started with our 5-minute farmers, delivering vegetables and groceries directly to people's doorsteps. We use technology in the back end. We use a huge amount of machine learning. We use a huge amount of blockchain. We use a huge amount of platform in the back end. Many of those are work in progress. Many of those are already implemented. And you will see that this is how we are implementing it. So I explained to you the why, what, and how of 5-minute farmers. I request each one of you to think of yourselves as a business owner and ask this question. I am a business owner who knows about technology. I am going to help somebody who's struggling. Why am I doing this? This is why I'm doing this. What am I going to do? Here are the steps how I'm going to do. And how am I going to do it? Here is how I'm going to implement it. Think like that and ask yourself that question. That is the first thing that I want you to learn when approaching a solution to a problem. The second thing, you have to be aware of what's happening around us. Many years ago, it was about developing software as a product. Then it came where you have software on the web. Now, it's all about platforms and connection economy. I highly recommend you read a book called Platform Revolution. This is by Alstein, Sangeet Chowdhury, two of the authors of the book. It's a 3-author book. I highly recommend you read about this online or you buy the book and read it. Whatever you do, remember, learn about platforms. What is a platform? For example, 5-minute farmers is a platform where we connect farmers and producers and consumers. Apple Music, Apple is a platform. Android is a platform where a lot of developers can come. Facebook is a platform. Geo is coming up with a platform. So what is happening here? Platforms are gaining momentum. So think and read about platforms. You will thank me for this. The third part is accounting and cash flow. I was zero at this until a few years ago. I wish somebody had taught me this 25 years back and said, this is how you need to be focused. Remember cash flow. And I highly recommend you go online and look for Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. He also has a nice game. Play that game and you will love it. And learn about cash flow. It helps you with money management in your real life and also money management in any business. So these are the things that I think you should know. If you do these 3 things, I believe your business fundamentals will be very strong. Moving to the programming fundamentals, I'm sure there are many organizations, many institutions which teach you about principles of programming. Learn it very well. Learn the principles of programming really well. Then you will realize what we are talking about. It is very easy to write a program to solve a problem, but then it is very difficult to write a program to solve a problem efficiently. It should give the results in the fastest period of time. It should give the results using the least amount of resources, memory, including your variables. If you are technical, you will understand what I'm saying. Don't use unnecessary variables. Try to use as little memory as possible, because think about it. If I'm going to write a for loop which contains a few unnecessary statements, and imagine if my page is going to be accessed by 10,000 people every second, you are consuming 10,000 additional resources as a waste. Be stingy in your code. Be efficient in your code. Learn this by studying the principles of programming really well. Then comes software development lifecycle and agile methodologies. Learn these so you know how software is developed. Also learn about source code repository so that you know how to protect your source code, save it well, automated deployment process. These are all things that has to be a part of your fundamental core objective in any programming language you learn or anything you do. This might be a little bit too much for people who are non-technical, non-programming, but if you are into programming, I think you should follow these fundamentals. I'll make sure this presentation is also available to you on our link that I've given here so that you can go back to it and refer to it. And you have my number at any time if you want to ask me. With that background, I'm now going into a little bit of more specifics. Basic concepts. By the way, I'm going to go through a lot of things in the next 10 minutes. You might like one or two of these. You might not have interest in some of these. Ignore if you don't have interest. But if you like something, try to read more about it. And these are presented here with the aim of getting you up to speed with anyone else in the world. Anybody in India should be able to compete in technology with any other technologist in the world. This is aimed at helping you with that as a little bit of a head start. So use it if you think it will be useful. Otherwise, go back to doing what you're doing normally. So core programming. I highly recommend technologists to learn at least one core programming language, C, C++, Java, or Python. I'm a hardcore C guy. Okay, and when I see people developing programs using .NET Visual Studio without even knowing some of the fundamentals, I cry. Why? Because I know what will happen when this program is launched and when 100 people start using it. That program will go nowhere. So I want you to learn the fundamentals of programming. By the way, SDLC is software development lifecycle. You will learn about it once you start entering into engineering, any computer science course. Similarly, you should learn about databases. Databases, SQL is the core of it. And nowadays, no SQL has come. Learn well about RDBMS, learn well about databases. These are the basic concepts that I highly recommend you learn. Then comes web and mobile. .NET, PHP are very popular in web development. Facebook was built in PHP until they came up with their own language. Android and iOS, you have to learn it if you want to do mobile development. Of course, there are hybrid ways of mobile development also, but learn these things. UI UX is something that user interface and user experience, not many people pay attention to it. I highly recommend you do it. Similarly, there are other basic concepts like security, domain and server. Security is all about learning about ethical hacking, social engineering. I might be running a bit fast, but then these are all just the headings. The reason I want to bring it to your notice is you should think about the heading that interests you and focus on it. If you come across any heading that interests you, type it here. And let me also know what you're interested in. Domain and servers. Many people don't get into this, but you realize how AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud went into it. And AWS is now giving 15% of Amazon's overall revenue. So you should start thinking about domain and server management. It's a beautiful area to be in. Then in basic concepts, you can see many people in digital marketing, right? Social media marketing, SEO. SEO is another great tool that you would like to learn. Digital advertising and digital analytics. There are companies that do analytics and make tons of money. If you've heard of Prashant Kishore, he runs a company that does political campaign analytics. And that power has helped him earn lots of money and good name in analytics segment, especially for elections and politics. Similarly, testing is also a good field. You will have to learn about automated testing after you learn about manual testing. So learn. There are things you can learn in 1 month. Learn. So here, advanced concepts. Now we go into data sciences, analytics, blockchain and cryptocurrencies. We use blockchain heavily to provide transparency. When we launch our blockchain product, you will see how you will know from a farmer when the produce was harvested, what is the farmer's phone number, name, his latitude, longitude, and what did he use while producing, whether it was organic, non-organic, what chemicals were used. We want to help farmers provide all this information to the consumer. So you know everything about the produce before it comes to your house. And once it comes, when you see it on your table, you'll know this is what I'm eating. We are using blockchain for that. Similarly, you can focus on data sciences and analytics. Artificial intelligence is going to change the world. It's already changing. You should learn something about it. And if you like it, you should learn more about it. We'll help you in that. Similarly, in advanced concepts, IoT, right? We use sensors to help farmers switch off and switch on drip irrigation. You can actually do a lot more. Many agricultural students in agri universities are focusing on this, and these kids are doing a remarkable job. We need to use precision robots to do precision agriculture. Today, our farmers are spraying chemicals or whatever they want throughout the field. What if we could identify it by every square meter, and the robot can spray potassium here, magnesium here, only potassium here in every square inch or square foot? How would that be? I'm sure many of you know about Alexa, Siri, and OK Google. You should learn about how to program in this. I have built, as a part of one of my monthly research, I did Alexa skill kit. I did a kit called Filter Coffee. I'll be happy to discuss about it with you if anyone is interested. Next comes virtual reality, where you wear a glass and a VR glass and see through it. It is now maturing with Facebook's latest releases. Augmented reality is also gaining a lot of importance, and I think you should learn it. I have completed a fast rundown of the technologies I had in mind. I am now ready to take questions. The next 5 to 10 minutes we'll spend on taking questions from you, and we will end the session. I'll be very happy to see more and more of you asking questions. We have about 120 participants. I would love to see at least a few questions from you, which will make me believe you are actually following this.
Fantastic, sir. That was awesome session covering all the niche areas. And audience, please make use of this opportunity and send your questions.
So what do you think about automation of farming? Which language is Facebook currently using? How will it, okay, I'll go one by one. Which language is Facebook currently using? Facebook has currently built their own language from scratch. Until they gained momentum and popularity, they were using PHP. And later, they got rid of it and they built their own language. It is also available. It's published as open source, available for all of you to use. Okay, you will see that when you go look at Facebook's website for developers, developers.facebook.com. You will see it. How will your organization help? How will your organization help us to be more into technology? Seriously, you name the technology and name your topic of interest, we will help you. Next, what do you think about automation of farming? There is so much of scope in automation in farming. You need to have drones to begin with to understand the crops. We can even use drones to spray anything that we want to spray. We can do so much of automation in farming. We are already working on that. Weather information is so valuable to our farmers. Imagine in 2015 when Gaja cyclone hit. Imagine if each of the farmers got an SMS 2 weeks earlier saying this is going to hit badly. Make sure you finish your harvesting ahead of time, even if it is going to result in some losses. I really wish we had done this. We missed it. We need to change that. So I am big time into automation of farming because 5-minute farmers are core business. We'll be happy to give you a lot more inputs on this. What is RFID? RFID is radio frequency identification. It's a very simple thing. If you have a fast pass or any of those things in your car, it is an RFID tag. In some of the hospitals, they put an RFID tag to make sure you don't escape. So many of these RFID tags are a short distance. The RFID reader can actually read the tag and send the data back to the servers. RFID is a very interesting technology because at 50 paise per tag, we should be able to do amazing things. I even recommended putting RFID tags on people who are identified with COVID, but somebody said it's of no use because they can just cut the tag and run away. What about gaming development? Gaming is a big one. My son is into gaming. He builds games and I saw him, he's 17 years old. I saw him develop a game and I was very impressed. I think each one of you should think about gaming if you like gaming. Machine learning and ethical hacking, good. So why can't we create a platform where farmers and business people work together? That's exactly what we're doing. It's called 5-Minute Farmers. Please take a look at farmers.5minutes.in and you will see the platform that we have created. Or you go to the link that I've shown you on my screen. You will see how anyone can work on this. Books for platform learning. Yes. Platform Revolution by Alstein and Chowdhury. Search for Platform Revolution. You can never miss it. Is there any government scheme to support farmers in automation? Yeah, government has a lot of schemes, very, very good schemes. Especially Tamil Nadu government has implemented it very well. Hats off to Mr. Gagandeep Singh Bedi, who is leading the way with Tamil Nadu, and it is becoming like a leader for all the farmers all over the country. And while the government has come up with great schemes, implementation still can be improved a lot. And we are there trying to see if we can make a difference. I'm planning to make a drone to spray pesticides in farm as my final year project. I don't know which year you are in, Neha. I think you should do this as your monthly technology research now. If you're in final year, maybe you should do it then. You can do it now. You don't have to wait. Automated system for a complete agricultural project. Okay, yes, we can do it. Is 5-minute farmer zone specific? I don't know if I understand the question right. I'll anyway answer. The 5-minute farmer concept.
They are asking like, is it specific? Are you working on only specific zones or is it open for all?
When they say zone,
all geographical regions like that.
We are right now working with farmers in Tamil Nadu and a few farmers in Andhra and Karnataka. We are going to go all out throughout India, but we want to mature this in Chennai helping farmers in Tamil Nadu. Right now we have about 300 farmers who we are regularly buying from. What if we can buy from 2.5 lakh farmers in Tamil Nadu and help them sell their produce directly? We are not the new middlemen, by the way. We help farmers bring their produce directly to the consumers. We are the technology, we are the people using technology to enable this to happen. Recent trends in data science and information security. Lots and lots of trends in data sciences. If we could have found a solution for COVID using all this data that we have available with us, I wish data sciences were mature to that level. If any one of you is interested in doing that data and looking at it and coming up with pattern matching and identifying and warning the governments ahead of time before clusters are formed, I think that will be a beautiful thing. So data sciences can be used in many places. Travel related apps, yes, it's being used in many places. Is programming difficult? Programming is not difficult at all. You just need to put in your effort. I'm going to go back to the slides, which I think you should be seeing right now before you ask me any of these questions. Nothing is difficult in this world. We just need to remember. You need to have access to technology. Imagine the impossible. Laser sharp focus on your goals and consistent effort over a period of time. What is RFID wallet? Saurabh, I've not done enough study on this, so I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to this question. Can we apply Alexa or Siri in automation of programming? Remember, our farmers don't have access to any of these. They have access to a Geo SIM card. So think of delivering everything to them on their SMS. How are farmers benefited with 5-minute farmers? Farmers are given the money they ask for the highest quality produce, and they're given the money upfront before their produce is touched. And we take it and deliver it to our consumers. That's how we are helping. I think we're nearing the end of this session. It's 10:58. Thank you for all the questions. I think I'll pause here.
Thank you, sir. That was awesome. Listening to your answers posted by the audience. It was so informative. It was crystal clear explanation, and all these are the comments which we get on chat, and you would also be seeing it. Thank you so much on behalf of our management, principal, vice principal, dean, HOD, coordinators, faculty members, students, and audience. We thank you for the excellent session and thought-provoking ideas. So,
thanks everyone for giving me an opportunity.
Farming is one such area where you have chosen. India requires ideas and people to work on a lot of innovative ideas, creative thinking, and that is what we expect from all our engineers. Let's work, and that is your idea too. Thank you, sir. Well, Murgesh, sir, please pass on your thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for arranging such an excellent person.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Audience,
Thank you,
please,
Mr. Rajani.
take up the feedback link. Yes, feedback link is on the chat. You can fill it up and get your certificates. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Sai, sir. That was fantastic.